I'm obsessed with the packages that were sold to UHF channels in the 60s. Through these collections of movies, they're almost like the Mill Creek 50 packs of their era. These small stations got a ton of films that could show anytime they wanted, however they wanted. There's the Nightmare Theater package. There's the Shock Cinema packages. But for this one, we're talking about the Sons of Hercules package, which was created by Embassy Pictures. Embassy Pictures was founded in 1942 by Joseph E. Levine as a distributor of foreign films. He introduced America to Sophia Loren and Godzilla while bringing foreign movies like Jack the Ripper and Attila Scourge of God to the U.S., renaming the second best secret agent in the whole wide world to License to Kill, executive producing everything from Santa Claus Conquers the Martians and The Graduate to Mad Monster Party, They Call Me Trinity, Magic, The Carpetbaggers, and The Producers. He also spent more than $1 million, more money than 1956's Hercules cost to make, on publicity it took to turn Steve Reeves into a star.
We could take in an old Steve Reeves movie.
He also introduced the concept of saturation booking by using over 600 prints of that movie, which at the time was a huge amount of film to be struck, as most theaters only had one screen. He also invested $120,000 in dubbing, sound effects, and new titles. But the Sword and Sandal epic became one of the highest grossing films of the year, and as you can expect in Italy, created a whole new genre, the peplum, that would see hundreds of these movies, maybe between 58 to 65. They would only fade when replaced by the Italian Western and the Eurospy. Based on the success of Kirk Douglas's movie Ulysses, the idea of the Odyssey inspired plenty of Italian Westerns, and the gunfighter finally makes his way home and finds a different town than he remembered. These movies made stars out of folks like Steve Reeves, Reg Park, and Gordon Scott, because so many of them demanded larger-than-life superheroic men. Many of them were bodybuilders, and a lot of them came from Mae West's Muscle Men Review, including Gordon Mitchell, Mickey Hargitay, the aforementioned Greg Lewis, Mark Forrest, and Dan Vadas. Embassy knew these movies had been popular in theaters, and while that initial success may be waning, local UHF channels had a desperate need for content. They answered with Sons of Hercules, which gave these stations 14 movies, unified with a memorable name, a catchy theme song, and a voiceover that starts each movie, placing them into the same cinematic universe, even if there is no connection.
The Sons of Hercules.
They also edited the films so stations could air them as 1-hour episodes, giving stations 28 weeks of programming that could be repeated and then be a full year of a 1-hour block. Because none of these movies ever played theaters in the U.S., there was some cachet to them when they were sent over to syndicators. I also learned that Levine left no stone unturned with these movies. He was an early believer in merchandising, and Sons of Hercules even had a Milton Bradley board game. The movies in the package are Ursus, Son of Hercules. This is Ursus, a 1961 film directed by Carlo Campogialli. Campogialliani.
Hello, Ghost of Carolyn D. Fonseca here. Oh, Samuel. You host a podcast about these movies and can't even pronounce them. You also have a ghost that haunts it that actually did voiceover work for them. So you could have just said, Carolyn, how do I pronounce Carlo Campogialliani? There, Samuel. It's Carlo Campogialliani. I have no idea how your mushmouth said it, but it was wrong. Wrong!
This stars Ed Fury, who will go on to play the hero in 2 other films, Ursus in the Valley of the Lions and Ursus in the Land of Fire. He's also in The Water Limit of Wongo. This movie probably has some intrigue for people like me that are fans of Jess Franco, as the virginal fleet is played by Soledad Miranda. Mole Men versus Sons of Hercules, that's really Machiste, the strongest man in the world, directed by Antonio Leo Viola, starring Mark Forrest as Machiste. He battles a subterranean race of albino mole men and a monstrous ape. Gianni Jarco also shows up. Triumph of the Sons of Hercules, this Tania Boscia directed movie, is actually the Triumph of Machiste. Stars Kirk Morris, Mr. Italian 1961, a man born as Adriano Bellini. Fire Monsters against Sons of Hercules, also known as Machiste versus the Monsters. This originally starred Reg Lewis as Machiste. He's called Maxis in the U.S. dub. Every time his name gets spoken, it's a totally different voice saying it. This Guido Malatesta directed movie was a co-production between Italy's Euro International Film and Yugoslavia's Kaiser Bib, filmed at Insar de Paola Studios in Rome, and on the location in the caves of... I'm never going to be able to pronounce this. Ready, Carolyn, come on in.
Let's just do that whole sentence over again, Samuel. This Guido Malatesta-directed movie was a co-production between Italy's Euro International Film and Yugoslavia's Kaiserbib, filmed at Insar de Paola Studios in Rome and on location in the caves of Ljubljana in Slovenia. Lublian. Sound it out. Come on, Mumbles.
In the UK, it was called Colossus of the Stone Age, and re-released and retitled as late as 1975 as Land of the Monsters, where it played double features with Revenge of the Gladiators.
Joey, do you like movies about gladiators?
Venus Against the Son of Hercules, Mars of God of War, was Marcello Baldi. It has directed by him and has Roger Brown as Mars of God of War. Falls in love with Daphne. Jackie Lane, who left acting and married Prince Alfonso of Hohenlohe-Langenburg.
For sake, Sam, it's Prince Alfonso of Hohenlohe-Langenburg. Everyone can pronounce that. They learn it in first grade. Hohenlohe-Langenburg.
She's menaced by a carnivorous plant. That's pretty fun. Ulysses Against the Son of Hercules has Hercules, Mike Lane, former wrestler Tarzan Mike, and Frank N. Stein on the TV show Monster Squad, and Ulysses, played by George Markal, fighting and then teaming up against bird people, directed by Mario Chiano, who did Nightmare Castle, which is great. The Medusa Against the Sons of Hercules was made 19 years before Clash of the Titans. It has Richard Harrison as Perseus in a battle against Medusa, known in Italy as Perseus the Invincible. It's directed by Albert DiMartino, who made Strange Shadows in an Empty Room. Sons of Hercules in the Land of Fire is the sequel to Ursus. It's really Ursus in the Land of Fire. It stars Ed Furr, and it's directed by Giorgio Simonelli, who did Two Mafioso Against Gold Ginger. The Tyrant of Lydia Against the Son of Hercules, Goliath and Rebel Slave. That's what that is. That's another Mario Chiano movie. It stars Gordon Scott as Goliath, and Alberta Coley, the future president of Milan, is Princess Corey. Messalina Against the Sons of Hercules. That's really the last gladiator. It has Richard Harrison as Glaucus, a gladiator in the time of Messalini, Claudius, and Caligula. This is directed by Umberto Lenzi. The Beast of Babylon Against the Son of Hercules is known as Hero of Babylon and Goliath, King of the Slaves, as Gordon Scott as Nippur. The weird name for a barbarian.
In the time before empires, before mercy, there was only steel. Across the shattered kingdoms of the north, warlords burn cities in the name of forgotten gods. Ancient creatures stir beneath the mountains, and from the black temples of the east, a prophecy spreads like plague. A barbarian will drown the world in blood and save it. He is called Nippur the Barbarian.
And it's about the fall of Babylon, directed by Sierra Marcelli, who made the Lola Falana starring Italian Western Lola Cole.
Saturday at 10, In Concert presents the beautiful, dynamic, multi-talented Miss Lola Heatherton.
We're so glad to be here. We just love you all.
Up next, we have Terror of Rome Against the Sons of Hercules. Oh, another Mario Chiano movie. This is Machiste, Gladiator of Sparta. Mark Forrest plays Machiste, a Spartan gladiator, falls in love with a Christian woman.
Forgive her, for she knows not what she does.
Mary Lou Tolo from Ray Colt and Winchester Jack, and must battle monsters and men in the Colosseum, directed by, again, Chiano, who seemingly specialized in these films for quite some time. Son of Hercules, in the Land of Darkness, Hercules the Invincible is the real one. It's Dan Vadas. It is one of two movies directed by Alvaro Mancori. Alvaro Mancori,
Samuel. Alvaro Mancori.
It's an actual Hercules movie, which is a complete rarity in this package. Devil of the Desert Against the Son of Hercules is a movie of many names. It also goes by Anthar the Invincible, The Slave Merchants, and Soraya, Queen of the Desert. It also stars Kirk Morris, whose name has to come from Kirk Douglas, who plays Anthar. He battles the devilish Ganor, and has a final battle in a Hall of Mirrors, which one assumes is ripped off from The Lady from Shanghai. I see you there, Anthony Dawson, or should I say Antonio Marghetti. Did you see Sons of Hercules on TV when you were growing up? What was it like? Is there anything I'm missing? I absolutely love that some of these have a trailer, and the trailer introduces you to all the sons that you'll meet through the films. It has like a fast-talking 60s style and a song. It feels like Batmania. These movies are interesting. What would you like me to cover on the show? Reach out, bnsaboutmovies@gmail.com. Come to the site, bnsaboutmovies.com. And if you'd like to donate, maybe have me talk about something different, code-fee, ko-fi.com/bnsaboutmovies.
The Sons of Hercules. The mighty Sons of Hercules once thundered through the years. These men of steel could never feel the curse of a coward's fears. The mighty Sons of Hercules were men as men should be. They burned with dreams, then turned their dreams into history. 100 giants, brave and bold, they ruled the world in days of old. The mighty Sons of Hercules were men as men should be. They took the world and shook the world, the Sons of Hercules. The mighty Sons of Hercules once thundered through the years. These men of steel could never feel the curse of a coward's fears. The mighty Sons of Hercules were men as men should be. They burned with dreams, then turned their dreams into history.
Sons of Hercules, they are there when the need arrives. There to show that might and right still survive on land and on the sea.
As long as there is need, there'll be Sons of Hercules.